The Lakers starting group presented by State Farm. Guys that make up the 2, 3, and 4 slots. Howard is out there with Nash. And for the Warriors, Barnes and Lee, they make up the forwards. Steph Curry and Thompson manning the backcourt. And it's Bogut, and at the 5.
Ammonia strong finish right there, partner. You hear me? That was ammonia strong.
Yeah, ripped it down with 2 hands.
That's about as high percentage as you can get.
That was a nice replay. Brought to you by Sprite.
Harrison Barnes at 6'8", 220 pounds, comes in with good size at the small forward position. I thought it was disappointing that he didn't turn into more of a playmaker at North Carolina, more of a multi-dimensional offensive weapon, but he really became more of a jump shooter and a scorer as a target.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Going back to Harrison Barnes, to have that kind of impact many expected for him early. He'll have to continue to, Clark, round out his game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he will, Kevin, because he's got size. He's a hard worker, serious about his game, wants to be good. He can shoot it. He's got to tighten up his ball handling, but if he does that, I think he's going to be fine.
And the basket good. Barnes has got his 2nd bucket of the game to go.
Off to a nice start here. They've hit all 3 from the field.
Curry against Nash. Howard jumps up, and it's blocked by Bogut. They recover it. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Curry's got the ball. Thompson with the bucket.
And, the focus for Coach Mark Jackson has been transforming this Warriors team from an offense-first and last culture to a defensive-minded one. That's a challenge. That's been 90% of their focus in training camp and practices, creating a defined defensive system so players can hold each other accountable and be held accountable.
Outside Curry. He feeds it to Thompson. Good, and Curry gets the assist.
Well, if anything, Thompson has been an even better shooter in the pros than he was in college. Maybe because people aren't focused on him as much offensively.
A look here at the Lakers starting group presented by State Farm. Kobe and Matt at the wings with the Big Pau Gasol at the 4. Nash out there with Howard. And for Golden State, Barnes and Lee, they make up the forwards. Steph Curry and Thompson manning the backcourt. And it's Bogut, and at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Kobe attacking. There's the block. Howard kicks to Kobe. 2nd chance shot, and that comes off the assist by Dwight Howard.
Kevin, they were a step late on their defensive rotation, and that helped them get right to the rim.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Steve Nash. That is his first foul of the game.
First team foul.
Thompson against Nash. Offensive rebound. Takes it up for the stuff.
Well, he brings a lot to the table, Kevin, that's for sure. And what I look to really is his pursuit of the ball. I mean, he gets you so many second chance opportunities because he anticipates so well, and he plays with a kind of a fearless aggressiveness.
And one other thing, I like his vision when he's posting up. Being able to score down there is just part of being an effective post player. He's got to punish him for doubling up on you, too. Over the last 10 years, the Pacific Division has been through its ups and downs, but the Lakers were able to once again win it by simply being too much for their fellow Pacific teams.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, Mark Jackson and I spoke for just a couple of moments. We discussed their defensive strategy going up against Kobe Bryant. He said, well, he probably has the best footwork of any player in the game. You can't give him any room in his jump shot, but when he's got all those fakes, it's so tough. Guys, he said he knows Kobe is going to get his points. They just want to try to limit his efficiency out there. Guess we'll see how they do.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. And going back to the Pacific Division, the Clippers improved, but the Lakers still showed who the champs of the division were with another title, Steve.
Yeah, they finished with a 9-5 mark in the Pacific Division. Only Phoenix matched that record. But, some teams in the Pacific are starting to improve, particularly the Clippers. But the Lakers seem to be the team to beat going forward, but that's not going to last forever.
Here's Nash, following the basket by Stephen Curry. Nash kicks to Gasol. World peace. And he's good on the 3 ball.
They love to see him aggressive like that when he's on the floor, especially when the defense gives him room.
And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Lee dishes to Thompson. Shoots over Kobe. And there are the Warriors now with another bucket.
I'll tell you, Klay Thompson was a great pick for the Warriors. He's got good size for a two-guard, able to handle the ball and pass, really work his way off screens for shots. And with that size, he can shoot right over the top of the defenders.
Now here's Kobe. He's got 6. Out to Nash. Curry with the steal. And that one's good. Curry's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Creating that kind of shot in close is really your primary objective every possession.
And Steve, you mentioned Klay Thompson shooting right off the bat in the NBA. Clark, a 40% shooter from long range.
I've always said if you can shoot, you can shoot. The NBA line, even though it's longer, isn't going to make a ton of difference for outstanding shooters. And that's what Klay Thompson was in the NBA in his first year and back to his college days at Washington State.
Kobe with the bucket.
Off to a really solid start. He's knocked down 4 of his first 5 shots.
There's 18 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Curry with the 3. The rebound by Kobe Bryant. One second left. The first quarter all wrapped up, and it's been an exciting game so far. Lakers lead by 1. Stay with us as we get set to... Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And from what we've seen so far from the Lakers, guys, what are your thoughts?
And it's really been a dominant effort on the glass. That's been the key here.
Yeah, they've established nice low post presence, which always tends to help you on the rebounding battle.
So with Kobe sitting on the bench, this is the group Mike Brown has right now. Antoine Jamison out there with Howard. Then it's Matt Barnes. Then it's Jody Meeks. And it's Blake in at the 1 spot. Clock at 6. Blocked. But they'll get another chance. Howard, the pass to Jamison. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Thompson with the ball.
Well, no doubt. I mean, we're going to see him take some three-pointers. That's what he does. He's a great shooter from long range. So defensively, you've got to keep an eye on him and close out hard on him, make him put the ball on the floor.
And also, he can flat out shoot it. Defensive pressure means nothing to him. He can drill jump shots right in the face of a defender. His concentration, form, and focus, outstanding.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. Pau Gasol's checked in for Howard. World Peace comes in for Matt Barnes. And Kobe is subbed in for Jody Meeks.
Well, the big gamble that Golden State took last year was when they sent Monte Ellis to Milwaukee for Andrew Bogut. Bogut is the long-coveted center that Golden State has wanted to build around for years. So they have one. The question now is, will he be healthy? He hasn't been able to stay on the court for much of his NBA career, but he is an excellent player when he's on the floor.
Warriors have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, the Warriors ownership have some big plans, and those include a new waterfront arena in San Francisco's Embarcadero district starting in 2017. The new site, located south of the Bay Bridge on Piers 30 to 32, would have glass walls on 3 sides to overlook the incredible views. It would also mark the Warriors' return to San Francisco after having played in Oakland for the last 40 years. But the Warriors really are, quote, the Bay Area's team. And with the public transport options and the booming financial sector both near the site of the new arena, it certainly seems like a great location.
A lot of excitement around this Warriors franchise. A beautiful new arena can only help. Injury is the big question for Bogut. He has the potential, Clark, to be a big defensive anchor. The Warriors certainly feel they can hang their hat on if he can stay healthy.
And that's why I think they took the chance, took the gamble, because they know if Bogut can be healthy, he can help shore up the defense, and that's been a problem for the Warriors for a long time.
Blake kicks to Howard.
How about the soft hands right there to make that catch and lay in?
Not sweet. Not the most forceful finish, Clark, but on an alley-oop, it's usually a little bit more strength.
Yeah, gentle is okay, though.
And that was nice, too. That was a finesse finish that got the job done.
Some changes for Golden State. Carl Landry's checked in for Bogut. And it's Rush in for Barnes. And then for the Lakers, Matt Barnes is checked in for Meta World Peace. And it's Jody Meeks in for Steve Blake. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, Dwight Howard is a fun-loving type of guy, but he had all kinds of problems a year ago. He originally asked for a trade, and then he backed off the demand. Then there were reports that he had asked management to fire Stan Van Gundy. So I think the biggest question with Dwight Howard is just the maturity. You know, he came straight out of high school to the NBA, and you wonder if he ever figured out how to be a part of the team and how to really be a leader.
Nash against Curry. Nash dishes to Barnes. The feed now to Jamison. 6 on the shot clock. Launches a 3. Barnes. And it's Howard finishing it off.
Rough and rugged down there in the low post.
That's his trademark. Hard rebounds, hard finishes, up high and down hard.
And he never stops working. That's what I really appreciate about him, guys.
And you think about Orlando, from the fans to the coach to the other players on that roster. The whole situation with Howard not seeming fully committed, really tough on everybody.
Yeah, commitment is really the lifeblood of any team, Kevin. You know that. We know it as broadcasters, being part of a team. When a player's not invested completely, especially a player as important as Dwight Howard is, it's really hard to be at your best and optimize your performance.
Lakers shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one.
You know, with the Lakers, it's all about winning titles. Anything else is considered a disappointment, and they were tested early, though.
Klay Thompson is checked in for the Warriors. Antoine Jamison's checked in for the Lakers. Blake comes in for Steve Nash. There's the pass to Thompson. Shoots over Kobe, and it's Thompson that time on the assist by Curry. Curry's got 3 assists now in this one. Here's Blake, guarded by Curry. Blake up top, got a piece of it. Curry with the steal. From the arc, no good, trying to beat the buzzer. And a tight game here as we end the first half. Warriors ahead.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome, fans. We got a close game going on out in Oakland. For the Warriors, a tight battle against the Los Angeles Lakers. Great activity defensively. They're taking measured risks, trying to force turnovers, putting a lot of pressure on that end of the floor. Stephen Curry's been tremendous in the first half. He's got 8 points and has looked very good defensively, playing hard-nosed ball out there. It's also been a strong start for the Lakers. They're crashing the offensive glass with reckless intensity, tremendous hustle. Dwight Howard playing effortlessly. He's got 6 points and a great field goal percentage for him as he's been making his shots count. Now let's head back out to the start of the second half. Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke take it away.
A view of the Bay Bridge spanning from San Francisco over to the East Bay and Oakland. Really an incredible game from Stephen Curry.
Yeah, so far in this one, he's played a different role than normal, but he's done a nice job as this team's playmaker here today.
And all of it's worked for the most part. I mean, he might not be known as a dime dropper, but after this game, he will be.
In the middle, it's David Lee and Andrew Bogut. Thompson and Barnes at the 2 and the 3. And it's Curry in at the point guard. And that's the group for Mark Jackson as we begin the second half. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
One thing we know about the Warriors point guard Stephen Curry, he's just a tremendous shooter and on pace to be one of the greats. Teammate Klay Thompson said, "I really marvel the way Steph can shoot the ball. He's really consistent with his jumper. Shooting's my specialty, but I got to get up to his level." Kevin, that'll take some work.
And Klay also off to a great start in his career shooting the ball. Some terrific shooting ability in that backcourt, certainly.
Well, when you talk about Dwight Howard, the first thing that comes to mind is that dominant interior presence. Defensively, he can do it all with his tremendous strength and athleticism. And offensively, he's made steady progress to the point where he's a 20-point-a-game scorer, big-time player.
Matt Barnes is checked in for the Lakers. first minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Here's Thompson. Lee, that's good.
And a really poor job boxing out there, guys. A momentary lapse in concentration, I think.
And the Warriors making a change here. Rush is checked in. And you look at the way Dwight Howard overshadows the center position in the NBA right now. And, you know, you could argue he's one of the all-time great centers in the league. And Clark, do you think, from his perspective, that's a good thing?
I'm not necessarily sure. You got to be careful how much praise you heap on young players. Everybody handles it differently. I think you're better served to earn it over time before people start making proclamations about the great this, the great that. I think you'd love to see more great centers or outstanding centers emerge who could stand toe-to-toe with Dwight and really challenge him to continue to push himself to be the best. The defense caught dozing off that time.
Yeah, those open dunks, pretty high percentage.
Yeah, you're not going to miss many of those. I mean, this is really a poor defensive effort. Great display of that mid-range touch right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a step in and knocking down a few. I know you were a great marksman from the three-point line, but sometimes people only see the game in threes and layups. But that mid-range game is alive and well here tonight.
Well, the Warriors had their problems in a variety of places last season, but, you know, one thing they did well, guys, was they remained very competitive within their own division. And that's not easy given that the Lakers are still strong, the Clippers have emerged, and even Sacramento starting to get better.
And the Warriors with some changes. Carl Landry's checked in for Bogut. Barnes comes in for Klay Thompson. And Jarrett Jack has subbed in for Steph Curry. And then for the Lakers, Antoine Jamison's checked in for Gasol. World Peace comes in for Matt Barnes. And Steve Blake is subbed in for Steve Nash. And it's Howard finishing it off.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Warriors leading by 3. Outside Jack. Lee is guarded by Howard. No good from Lee. Warriors finished 7 and 8 in the Pacific Division. That is a good mark for a division that has improved, I think, as much as any in the last 3 years.
I couldn't agree with you more. It'll be tough for them to leapfrog the LA teams this year, but the Golden State Warriors showed last season they can at least hold their own in the Pacific, and that's a good start for them as a young team.
And some changes here for the Warriors. Bogut comes in for Lee, and it's Klay Thompson in for Brandon Rush. And then for the Lakers, Pau Gasol is checked in for Howard. And it's Nash in for Steve Blake. And Steve, this game has a lot of character here in the third period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action, a competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 in total, Clark. So this has been a great game. Both teams playing hard and really competing out there.
Jack for 3. Here's Landry. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. First trip to the line for him here. Free throw drops for Landry. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Now Howard. For 3, Kobe. No good. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter.
37. The Lakers, 36.
While we're still getting underway here in the fourth, let's go down to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Uncontainable Game Report. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, and it's the Warriors with the uncontainable game in this one. Right now, everything has been going their way, and they've taken advantage of their chances. Looks like it's going to be theirs for the taking, and they're 1 quarter away from the win.
And thank you for that, Doris. All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. Taking a look at the Lakers. And in the backcourt, it's Nash and Kobe. Howard is out there with Antoine Jamison. And it's Barnes in at the small forward position. That's tipped. And now here comes Kobe, leading the break. In low to Howard. And even 3-on-3 break. Lee passes to Thompson. Rebounded by the Lakers. On the wing, Kobe, guarded by Curry. Jamison with a screen for Nash. With the lead pass. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul. It'll go to the line.
We watched Howard play some great basketball. 8 rebounds and also an assist. Really dominating this game, just taking it over.
Just making it look effortless as well.
Some changes for Golden State. Andrew Bogut checked in for Beatrice. Barnes comes in for Brandon Rush. And Jarrett Jack is subbed in for Steph Curry. The Lakers also making some changes. Saul comes in for Antoine Jamison. And it's World Peace in for Matt Barnes. About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Nash with it. Back to Kobe. Shot clock at 6. The Lakers need to get a shot off here. Howard's shot is good.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball. I mean, everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
Well, it's been back and forth. Really good battle here.
Yeah, real strong battle, guys, and it looks like it may come down to which team has the ball last as far as who wins.
Offensively, just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Stephen Curry's checked in for Klay Thompson. Gasol, no good on the free throw. Warriors have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. And that'll be Golden State as it goes out of bounds. Warriors retain possession. Now a timeout called by Golden State. They're trailing by 1. There's a minute 40 left to play in the final quarter. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Mark Jackson had some words for his team over that break. He tried to really fire them up to bring it home, saying, all night, you have all night to rest after the final buzzer. For now, we have to lay it on the line and try to bring it home. Guys, back to you.
And that is good.
Well, I like that he's come up with some big baskets for this team to help him out in getting this lead.
Jack against Kobe. Left side, Jack. Lets it go from the wing, and the Warriors tack on 2 more. Boy, right down to the wire here, Clark and Steve. Still anyone's ball game.
Both teams really invested now. I mean, this is the type of game you love to win, and you hate to lose it.
Boy, after all this energy that both teams have expended, you're right, Clark. This would be a tough one to lose.
Kobe with the steal. Barnes. The Hail Mary from beyond half court is off target. Out to Lee, all alone. Steve Nash pulls it in. Bogut kicks to Curry. 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He dishes it to Jack. Jack gets a screen from Bogut. 6 to shoot. Second shot opportunity. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, they had a foul to give, but they couldn't get it done before that shot attempt.
Yeah, and giving up free throws isn't ideal here, Steve. You know that, but at least they got the clock stopped.
Fantastic piece of work at the line to raise the lead to 3 points. That's big.
17 seconds left in the game. Kobe with the bucket.
One after the other, Kobe taking care of business.
$15 seconds left to play here in the fourth. The dish to Barnes. Over Howard. Ooh, offline.
And we see him get so many points that way because the effort is there constantly on the offensive glass.
And so it's the Lakers with it. Here's Gasol. Oh, no good. So it's a narrow victory for the Warriors, pulling out the...